Hey guys, thanks for joining us. Now we have what I consider the list that epitomizes the Blood Angels. This is our assault army list.
Yep.
This is us going out for an army list, Darrell, that's just going to be all out killing.
Get across the board, get rid of the opponent. With a slight try to get rid of his vehicles as well, but pretty much get every guy with a jump pack you can.
Yeah. Now we have one slight issue in this. It's a 760 point list.
Yeah.
It needs to be 750 for it to be tournament legal over here. So we need to shave 10 points off here somewhere.
Well, I got carried away with my lightning claws and my meltas and stuck in one too many. So you could drop a lightning claw or a multi-melta at your choice.
Okay, so this, although we're listing it at a 1760 point list, that's just for accuracy. You could drop a lightning claw or a melta on this list, and you'll bring it back down. Chances are on a list like this, though, you'll want to bump it up to 2,000 for a bit of fun.
Yeah, exactly. Because although it wouldn't work, I would love to see just all the guys with jump packs flying across the board, just hordes of them. But it wouldn't. It wouldn't work. It'd be very painful. Redeemers would have a field day.
Do you know them smattered with a few Terminators with chain fists?
But then they can't jump. You can't get jumped by a Terminator and a chain fist.
They could deep strike in, but then they're going to get flamed by a Redeemer,
yeah.
aren't they?
The Infernus pistols is the only way around it. The problem with Infernus pistol is you basically have to stand right beside the vehicle and shoot it. And the thing is, we'll go through this and we'll chat about it at the
As
end.
we go through, we'll discuss pros and cons and see where we go. Here begins the assault list for Blood Angels. I'm excited about this one, Darrell. So, HQ. It had to be done. Sooner or later, we had to include the campest of all the Blood Angels. This guy is as camp as a row of tents.
Yeah.
Sanguinius.
He is more camp than our friend Carl, and Carl is the camp manager.
He is a camp manager. Yes.
He's more camp than Carl.
You'll get to meet Carl soon enough. Carl's a good guy. He's not camp. He's not like a Sanguinius. He's a man's man.
Yeah.
Anyway, Carl, if you're watching.
Yeah.
HQ, we went for the Sanguinius. At 275 points, the guy is nearly an army unto himself. He is one stonkingly fearsome HQ choice, though.
Excellent combat. He has a jump pack, so he flies around the board.
You can pass me the Codex.
I can pass you the Codex. What did you do with your copy of the Codex? But he is got the worst pose of any Marine. If anybody has a Marine with a worse pose than what the Sanguinius has, please send us a picture because
it's the worst. It is absolutely the worst. As models of Marines go, it's like, come on, he's like the Michael Jackson of Marines.
Michael Jackson.
Nobody likes to speak ill of the dead, but come on. You know, he's like Michael Jackson at the Brit Awards. You just expect all the other Blood Angels to come up and, touch the cloth. It's
so. It would have to be so arrogant to. If you were getting posed, to say this will be my pose, I'll just be slightly off the ground with my two arms out wide, Christ-esque pose, so to speak.
To give you a little bit of background fluff, the Sanguinius for me is the least likable character in the whole of the Blood Angels Codex, and the reason for that is we don't know if he exists or not.
But he turns up in the game during the battle.
He turns up, and he kills stuff, and he is seriously killy. But it's this whole concept of you not knowing whether he exists or not, and the fluff around it is just atrocious. Anyway, they think that he might be. Who do they think he is? As Kalon. He was the guy that set up the Sanguinary Guard, and you know what? Judging by the look of the Sanguinary Guard and their cute little wings and whatnot, I would say Sanguinius probably did set them up.
I don't know, wings.
Anyway, as our good friend Matt Ward has said, only time will tell. So anyway, 275 points. Would he get a load of this stat line? Weapon skill 8.
Yep.
Ballistic skill 5, strength 5, toughness 4, wounds 3, initiative 6. It's extraordinary.
It's just excellent.
Attacks 5.
Yeah, plus generally the charge.
Leadership 10 and a 2+ save.
Eternal Warrior.
You get this 2+ save with a 3+ invulnerable save.
And an Eternal Warrior.
And Eternal Warrior.
Yeah, so he will not die easily. Of all the Marines that's out there, I don't know.
He's unkillable. He's not. He's designed not to die in this game, isn't he?
I don't know.
Do you know what he reminds me of? Nightbringer.
Yeah, he is just so good all round, except he's not an independent character.
He can't join a unit.
No, he just
But
turns
look
up.
at him. Look at him. He doesn't want to join a unit.
No.
He's a unit unto himself. He only cares about himself.
Yeah.
He's the most selfish of all the Blood Angels, and they're all sitting around going,
Oh, big boy, don't do that.
"Big boy, we don't like that. You
No.
come and you play with us, or you
Yeah.
don't." So I
He's-
don't know if he plays
yeah.
rugby
At
or he
the start
plays
at the start
Skittles.
at the start of the battle, they ask him, "Are you going to fight today?" And he goes, "I'm free."
I'm free. I'm free for battle. Anyway, we've picked Sanguinius, and before we get any worse on our crap jokes about him, let's get some of his special rules. Descent of Angels. So this guy's going to deep strike in properly. Now, if he can get Descent of Angels, why can't our Vanguard veterans get them? Anyway, I think they do get them. Avenging Angel. As soon as Sanguinius is placed onto the table, choose one of your opponent's HQ units. The Sanguinius re-rolls all fail to hit and wound rolls against the chosen unit for the remainder of the battle.
As he hits everything on a 3, pretty much, unless you have weapon skill 8, he gets to re-roll his 3s, and strength 5, he wins normal Marines on 3s.
You know, with 5 attacks, Darrell,
6 on the charge.
6 on the charge,
Uh-huh.
I'd send him into Logan, no problem.
Yeah, so would I. I would send him into
Yeah.
Logan.
Weapon skill 8, he's carrying the glaive and carmine, which is it's a master crafted power weapon.
Yeah. So there's no disadvantage in him apart from he's so arrogant he will not join
Yeah.
his company.
He also has another special rule called the Sanguinius Blessing. It just gets worse. When your force is deployed, randomly choose one sergeant in your army to receive the sacred blessing of the Sanguinius. That model now has +1 weapon skill, +1 wound, +1 initiative, and +1 attack for the rest of the game. Well, after
That is just so. It is just
no, that's so anyway, I don't know if I would want to be the sergeant to receive the Sanguinius blessing, but he does well out of it. He gets +1 weapon skill, +1 wound, +1 initiative, +1 attack. So we're going to have one little sarge on the board who's going to become a bit of an uber character himself.
He's going to be walking funny after he gets blessed.
He might have difficulty walking across, but when he gets there, he's going to be pretty fearsome.
No, we have to stop laughing about him. Yep, it does help your sergeant. The thing is, randomly selected. Do you get to pick which sergeant, or do you just roll a dice randomly selected the sergeant?
Who would you pick? Anyway, you get to do it after the force is deployed. So the chances are I'll see where your army's how your army's laid out, and I'm going to basically, if it was down to me, I'm going to say, right, this HQ unit over here, probably the one in your Land Raider, I'm going to say, right, I'm going to pick them for my Avenging Angel, and if I have a unit nearby there, I'll give that sergeant the extra attack.
Probably one of your better sergeants, probably one of your your elite or your Terminator sergeant, some long M lines you probably give it to.
Yeah.
If it is randomly selected, you may have to roll for it.
It's not randomly selected. You get to randomly choose one sergeant in your army to receive the sacred blessing of the.
Yeah.
Well, can I just go? I randomly choose him. How do you randomly choose? You're going to have to just. Well, yeah, you're going to have to roll for it.
I presume you would have to roll for it. Now I don't know. Now it doesn't seem right that it's just random.
Yeah.
It should be his boy gets it.
Mm-hmm. You would think so. You'd think you'd get to choose who you
Yeah.
gives it to, but you're going to have to stop that. Anyway, so you randomly choose.
Yeah.
If you've got a load of sergeants on there, you're going to have to roll 2 dice or whatever for them. So
Whatever, but I don't know. I wouldn't complain if you just says this sergeant gets it.
we will move on. You know, we will stop laughing about this. And then his final special rule is the aura of fervor.
Go for it. What sort of
all friendly units within 6 inches of sun. As you can see, Blood Angels Week is getting a bit silly now, but all friendly units.
You can't even read the book. I think we're going to have to drop Sanguinius.
All friendly units within 6 inches.
Oh, boys.
You read it.
I can't even look at it. Right. I put my glasses back on. I'm laughing too much. An old Sanguinius buddy, but yeah. Go for it.
Well, I don't know whether you're going to be subjected to watching all this stupid laughing or whether John's going to be kind enough to edit all this out for you. Anyway,
Right.
Aura of Fervor. All friendly units within 6 inches of the Sanguinius, except for the Sanguinius himself, have +1 attack.
Yeah.
Anyway, talking about units that have an
Uh-huh.
effect on your army, Sanguinius has when Sanguinius on when Sanguinius on the table, your army knows it. Anyway.
Guys, right.
Let's move on from Sanguinius, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
He has a big effect, that's for sure.
We'll stop. We'll restart that.
Troop choices. Okay. Right, troops were an obvious one on
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah. Had to be.
10-man assault squads.
Yeah.
Now, you fitted them out with 2 flamers, and the sergeant has a thunderhammer and melta-bombs. And they're coming in at 245 points. Now, you've went for 3 squads, identically laid out. And this is one of the things we tend to do. Certainly one of the things I tend to do. I like to do my army lists and make my units, where possible, kind of similar, because it's easier to play. Because when you're in a tournament setting, or even when you're playing normally, most of the time you lose because you're forgetting either rules or you're forgetting to do something.
Yeah, because the thing is, as well, I see it from a fluff-wise point of view, as in each unit would have, you know, like 1 flamer guy, 1 melta-gun guy, and so on. And I see that's the way I put this out, that they would all have, because you're more of an assault-based unit, flamers suit you more.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that.
Well, you want to get them into close combat.
Yeah.
Flamers are good.
Flamers are excellent. We always rate flamers and we rave
Yeah.
on about how good
You start
flamers
to
are.
actually, in this, it's nice because you actually start to have an army list that actually rivals Vulcan Hastan's army list. You know, there's lots of flamers potentially in this. Flamers and Melta, you can have a lot of it in the Blood Angels book.
Yeah, but we just don't have anybody as cheesy as Vulcan Hastan. He's
No.
he's in a whole different layer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
But anyway, we have 3 squads of 10, so there's going to be 30
Yep.
of these guys
Yep.
out there.
lots of chances to take objectives. You can form big lines to hold 2 objectives or maybe 3.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes down to it, you only need 4 guys to hold 2 objectives. Well, 5 guys to hold 2 objectives. 4 Terminators can hold 2 objectives that are 12 inches apart. So this is, it's not, it gives you lots of choices to hold objectives.
Yeah, you're not going to be worried in your objective-based games anyway. You've also added a 10-man veteran squad. Okay, this is the Vanguard veteran squad. Now you've kitted these out really, really nicely. Now the Vanguard veteran squads are a fast attack unit. Okay, these guys are coming out at 350 points, and we have a 10-man veteran Vanguard squad with 9 lightning claws, including a sergeant's lightning claw, and at 350 points.
Yeah, they basically, I think the lightning claws are just slightly better than the power weapon, I know if you take a power weapon, you can combine power weapon and pistol.
Well, a lightning claw, right? Plasma pistol, infernus pistol, lightning claw, or power weapon, 15 points per model.
Yeah.
So you're getting a lightning claw for the same price as a power weapon.
Suit.
And for these guys, I would totally do it. These are the guys that can do heroic intervention. And according to my interpretation of the rules, not necessarily yours, we think they can also do Descent of Angels, because in the jump pack entry under equipment, it says any Blood Angel with a jump pack can do Descent of Angels.
It's hard to know. It's debatable.
If they can, that is a fearsome unit.
Yeah,
you declare heroic intervention. You put your template on or as close to the guys you are not your dice on or as close to the guys as you want to assault. You roll. You know you're only going to roll 6 inches away from them, which leaves you in assault range.
Exactly.
Thump.
And you're all good on with lightning claws. Good unit. Fearsome unit. Re-rolling all them wounds with a lightning claw.
10 of those guys with the lightning claw, they have 2 attacks base.
Plus 1 for charging.
Plus 1 for charging.
Then you'll get to re-roll all your wounds. Excellent unit. And if the Sanguinius is nearby, they're getting extra bonuses for having him in the army as well. So this is what we chat about, Death Star units. This is your big unit to kill the enemy with.
I would be very inclined to keep my Sanguinius beside these guys. Because they will get plus 1 attack from the Sanguinius.
Exactly.
That was the aura of fervor that I couldn't really get out without chuckling so much. But they're going to get plus 1 attack. So I can see this unit deep striking in. Okay. Doing a heroic intervention, possibly. Even if they don't. They're on the assault, they're going to get 3 attacks, Sanguinius within 6 inches, 4 attacks, and re-roll the wounds.
And there's
40 attacks with re-rolling wounds.
And it's only a slight extra. Their sergeant could be the one that the Sanguinius has blessed.
Yes.
He gets bonuses as well for that. This could become a game-breaking unit.
It could
become a battle-breaking unit, not overall an entire 40k universe, but
not breaking the entire game, but breaking the particular game that you're playing, the battle.
If that lands and that comes off,
that is
anybody that's not stood inside a vehicle is going to suffer.
And if you can keep your units without spreading them about too much, there is the chance, if you play this right, Sanguinius could affect 2 units.
Oh yeah, it's if this was Sanguinius, I would be having them here in between these 2 guys, providing the opponents didn't have too much shooting. So you're affecting both units, and same as when you're going into combat, if you angle him right, he's at sort of one end of the combat, so there's another one going on. I just think this is a big smacking, breaking the opponent unit.
Now so far we have the Sanguinius, we have our 3 10-man assault squads, and we have our 10-man Vanguard veteran squad with the lightning claws. That's a lot of killy stuff. We don't have an awful lot in there to deal with vehicles, but I think that's what you've hit next. You've went for 2 squads. These again are in our fast attack, and they're land speeder squadrons. So you have 2 land speeders in a squadron with multi-melta and typhoon missiles. And that's 200 points. And then you've done it again. Another 2 land speeders in a squadron with multi-melta and typhoon missiles for 200 points. That's 400 points and 4 land speeders. That gives you a lot of anti-vehicle.
And the thing is, as well with these land speeders, you can give them 2 multi-meltas. You have to drop the Typhoon launcher. But I think the Typhoon launcher, it is 40 points, but gives you that option to be anti-troops. And it is a rocket, it's strength 8 AP3, so you can deal with vehicles with it as well. The Meltas is obviously for Land Raiders, because you need Meltas now, because the amount of Land Raiders that's out there, you think the Ford had appeared in the 41st century and where
General Motors Land Raiders,
Model T Land Raider was just coming out, because everybody has Land Raiders. They're standard issue now.
Coming out with
but this here, it's all about fast movement, get across the board, get at your opponent, destroy his vehicles, get him out of his vehicles.
Well, that took us to 760 points. You could drop 10 points in that easily.
You could drop a multi-melta. You could go with one of your land speeders with multi-meltas rather than a cyclone missile launcher.
If you're going to take it up another 200 and odd points to take it to 2,000, Darrell, where would you take it?
probably get in some Sanguinary Guard.
Yeah.
Your elites, there's not a lot of elites in there. Or a couple 100 points spent on Sanguinary Priest with jetpacks in there.
Yep.
The
I don't know.
The
I have
priests-
to. Do you know what I would go for?
what?
I think in this instance, I would most certainly go for at least one Furioso with Blood Talons in a drop pod.
Or
And I would launch him behind you. So your army's going backwards while my army's coming forwards. And I probably wouldn't do a lot of deep striking. Well, I might. You know, it's...
a Sanguinary Priest with the Vanguard Veterans, giving them Furious Charge +1 strength as well, could make that into.
And these are cumulative, aren't
Yeah.
they? We could have the Sanguinary Priests with their Vanguard Veterans, and then Sanguinor within 6 inches of
Yep.
the Vanguard Veterans.
So they're all getting +1 attack, Furious Charge, Feel No Pain. It all mounts up. It becomes a unit that becomes almost unstoppable.
Yeah, it's a crazy, and that's what I love about this codex. You know, is that there's so many little quirks. There's a lot of them are very obvious ones, and they've got nipped in the bud straight away by GW and the writers by saying, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
With the prime one being that you can't do a heroic intervention if you've got an independent character attached.
With you.
So, however, our
Dante that gives them.
no, it's not Dante. The Sanguinary Priest is an independent character, so they couldn't do a heroic intervention with him. But you know what? They may not even need to.
To do a heroic intervention. No, if you aren't putting them in reserves for deep striking, them just moving across the board with
That 4+ feel no pain, you know,
Yeah.
they're going to be pretty resilient.
Feel No Pain, Furious Charge, 3+ regular save, 4+ Feel No Pain. It's very hard to put guys down when they're in
Yeah,
that position. If you move them well, you're getting a cover save as well against the big shooting. It's an excellent unit, just a very an expensive unit, but it's coming in at about the same price as a Land Raider and a unit of Terminators. But
yeah.
the amount of attacks they get, a
Well,
unit of
certainly-
Terminators not stand to that.
If I could take it up to the 2,000 points, I would love to add 2 Furioso Dreadnoughts. And I would drop a couple of bits here and there to maybe get them in drop pods. Because it's that age-old tactic. I just love getting in behind you. Drop pods give me a nice, reasonably safe way of doing that, Darrell. And while I have your attention, and believe me, 2 Furiosos with Blood Talons standing beside your troops,
You would have my attention.
I will have your undivided attention.
Yeah, because you cannot, unlike normal dreadnoughts, I've seen me, unit tactical marines, there's a dreadnought, it'll assault me, 2 attacks, 1 hit, 1 dead, so what?
Yeah, with a normal dreadnought, you would almost try to move away from it because you don't want to end up locked in combat with it.
With huge units of troops, yeah.
With a Furioso,
No, you have to run away.
like I mean,
You know.
you really have to run away because when he catches you,
You're
he is
Done
going to
for.
completely
Yeah.
chomp through a unit of troops. It's going to take a lot to put him down. You know, because with front armor 13, you know, he's not easy to take
crack
out. Easy.
grenades are no good, dude.
Mhm.
This is the big thing. You may say, yeah, if I've unit tactical marines in there, I need a 6 to stick a crack grenade on followed by a 6. But that doesn't even work. You need
Yeah.
a 6 followed by a 7, which you can't get.
Mm-hmm.
And you may have a sergeant with a multi-bomb. One guy needing a 6 to get it stuck on, one go.
Yeah.
That's 6 turns of the game for you to get that multi-bomb on once, and
Yeah.
you still have to get your 6 on the dice to get a penetrating.
And if I get into combat with you, you ain't going to get 6 turns of the game.
No, you're not going to get 6 turns. If you get a full turn, as in your round of combat and their round of combat, that's all you'll get.
Yeah. Good points. List really suits the Blood Angels.
Yep. Totally.
They're fearsome, they're in combat, and the Sanguinor is there doing his thing. So there's no Death Company,
Yep,
and we've
that's-
deliberately kept the Death Company out of it because we'd like to have control over our lists. I suppose if we were being completely fluff orientated, you'd have thrown a little bit of Death Company in there anyway. I just don't like the fact that they suffer rage full stop. There was nothing you could do to negate that rage.
If
from
they had put in a very expensive special character that negated the rage if Death Company Tycho negated the rage on them, that would
or
be all
Mephiston
fair.
or someone like that. Yeah.
Then you're having to pay big points to get an HQ in to negate the rage. The thing is, even with the rage, it's not being able to hold an objective.
Yeah.
And having no power weapon, they have good rules now, I won't deny, but them having to run around the board all day.
Yeah. Can't see them making it into a tournament list. They wouldn't make it into ours anyway, but we left them out on this one. We have plenty of troops. 30 troops.
Yeah, loads.
No problems there. Everybody in that army, everybody in that army can move 12 inches. So your movement is absolutely not a problem.
Turn 2, you should be in combat.
And I think that's extraordinary for a Marine army. Like, how many times have you relied on rhinos to get your guys across the board? You're not fielding a lot of assault Marines because they're fast attack or they're elite, and you can't hold an objective with them.
Yeah.
In this instance,
They can all hold.
what?
I
can be fighting you over here, and within 2 turns, or even within 1 turn, be over an objective.
Yeah.
It gives you so much scope for commanding and controlling the objectives and whatnot on the board.
You could very easily go with all assault Marines. You could very easily go with 7 units of 10 guys running around the board. I see no huge disadvantages in that because you only have 7 kill points, and 7 units will bring down all vehicles apart from land raiders.
Yeah.
You would have some of your multi-guns or multi-pistols in there that you would have a chance against a land raider. You would probably bring it down eventually if you give your sergeant as well a multi-bomb. So I wouldn't want to have to move all them guys every time, but you could easily go with 7 units, and I would say perfectly competitive army.
And then we have our land speeders, which are basically our vehicle picker-outers.
Pretty much so.
Land speeders are a bit of an unsung hero. You know, it's they're not taken as often as really they should be. They're particularly useful in this instance.
At the top end of the tournament gaming side, at the competitive tournament gaming side, you see a lot of land speeders and Marine armies because they are that useful. You can move 12 inches, fire your multi-multi 24. You can move flat out. Vulcan just never leaves home without land speeders. These ones here, you can fit 2 multi-multis onto them.
Yeah.
I think land speeders are excellent. I don't use them personally because I think Space Wolves shouldn't get into land speeders.
Yeah.
But that's just fluff point of view. I think they're an excellent vehicle. They are soft. You get hit by a las cannon, you're 50-50 chance you're dead. But they're a good choice.
Definitely a nice choice for this list, and I'm looking forward to trying this out because I don't play a lot of land speeders in my lists.
No.
But certainly with plenty of multi-meltas, I am very tempted to do it.
Yeah, you could easily go here with just land speeders and assault guys and a cheap HQ.
Yeah.
And that would be very effective. You get 9 of them guys, and just with multi-melt, there's nothing else. They're only coming in 60 points each.
But you're losing that super unit of Sanguinar and the veterans.
Yeah.
Because Sanguinar and the veterans are, let's face it, they're going to kick ours.
Yeah, Sanguinar by himself could probably do for a unit of Terminators. Probably, if he would most likely get the charge. I would dare say it could take a chance and just stand, maybe with the exception of Thunderhammer Terminators.
Yeah.
It could take the chance and just stand in front of your Land Raider and say, "Come on out, guys, let's go." You know, because apart from the not independent character and the cheesy model, he's excellent.
Well, the real key to this army is that we reckon your opponent will only get 1 round of shooting before you get into combat.
Yeah, before you get into the first of his guys. And
yeah. Like, I would like to think whether you deep strike these guys or just move them across the board.
Yeah.
I'd like to think by round 2 I would have the majority of
it. The thing is, if you were to up this and get a couple of units and drop pods in turn 1, you put them homing beacons in the drop pod, so your guys coming down and they're not scattering. You know, you can't complain at that.
No, certainly not.
You know, and I wonder, can you use a homing beacon for heroic intervention?
Yeah.
Which would make that almost unbelievably good.
Yeah, we need to double check that.
Yeah. But
now, in terms then of the weaknesses of the army,
You have no vehicles to sit on
If
objectives.
if you're going to have to be aggressive.
Yeah.
You can't sit back with
No.
this. If your land speeders get taken out early, you're not going to have very much to deal with vehicles.
Not land raiders, especially.
Sorry, land speeders. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
land raiders are going to
Normal vehicles,
cause a problem.
you have a chance, but land raiders, no. The land raiders would have a field day with
Yeah.
you.
I don't know how well they'll fare against Tyranids. So, they're pretty exposed to Tyranids, and Tyranids have a lot of units. So even with the Sanguinius and our hard as nails Vanguard veteran squad, they're going to take time to chomp through all of that.
It depends what sort of Tyranid army you face, but you seem to see a lot of this Trigon Moloch combo going on. The Trigon just laying out gaunts and more gaunts. Turvagons, laying out more gaunts and more gaunts, and they can upgrade them gaunts. If a Turvagon takes adrenal glands and toxin sacs, then the gaunts it lays out gets them.
Is that right?
Yeah, that is right. I only realised this at the weekend. Actually, I was at a tournament and I seen the guy doing this, and he was laying them, and they said, "Oh, these guys have toxin sacs." And I was, "Can you do that?" And he's, "Yeah, look." And if the Turvagon, isn't it, takes the upgrade, the gaunts that you lay get the upgrades.
Ow!
And they're coming in, hitting you, re-rolling their wounds on the charge.
Yeah.
And as we have chatted previously on Midweek, the sheer numbers, if you get lucky with the dice,
You can
put out
birth out a lot of them.
in a 1750 game. We reckoned you could birth out another 2,000 points worth of gaunts for free.
Yeah, you need to be very lucky with your dice rolls.
Yeah, you need to be very lucky, but sometimes you get lucky. You may not birth 15 every time, but you could be rolling a 4, a 3, and a 5, or a 6, a 4, and a 2, and getting over 10 every turn.
Yeah.
And you could get lucky.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how they would fare against the Nid army.
But
they're going to have their work cut out for them, chomping through it though.
A Nid army is just fierce in general. Nobody's setting their army down the board going, "I want to face Nids because I have more combat than what Nids have." Nobody has more combat than what Tyranids have. I've seen my Space Wolves just stay in their vehicles the entire game because I've been facing Tyranids, knowing that if I get out, the combat's not good. It's not in my favour, So I'll just reverse my Land Raiders away and shoot at you the entire game.
Deploy as far forward as you can and continue to reverse back.
I did this at a tournament quite recently. Not a single Space Wolf, although they were all Terminators, set foot on the battlefield. They just shot and reversed their Land Raiders. Because it was a kill point game, I was happy. But
well, that's it. You're gonna cut through them, and what are they going to do to Land Raiders? We know it unless he has a couple of zoanthropes, and even then
they get one go and they get killed, because if they land in front of a Redeemer, you flamer them, you assault cannon them, you multi-multi them, they die.
That's it.
Yeah, but now this good all round army, nobody with a balanced army would particularly want to see you at this.
Yeah, I think you could cause most armies a bit of problems with this.
Yeah.
However, now's your turn to tell us, and that's what the comments are for. What do you think? Assault-based Blood Angels list. What would you go? I can imagine some of you guys out there are screaming at your computer screen saying, "No, you need more Furiosos in there." And I'm inclined to agree. But why don't you try and come up with a couple of your own assault variations at the 1750 point or even at the 2000 point if you fancy it. And stick them in the comments below and we'll get a bit of dialogue going. But for me, this is one of the lists that embody the Blood Angels. And I'm very, very keen to see how this plays. Even with our good old friend the Sanguinius causing our sergeants to feel slightly nervous at the start of the game. Thanks for watching, fellas. Hope you've enjoyed Blood Angels Week, and we will see you again soon.